Good afternoon, everyone. And for the third year running, the time has come for 7.5 weeks of competition to crown a world champion in the biggest event of Hitman Roulette. Welcome to the opening match of the 2022 Roulette Rivals World Championship presented by 47 Speedrun community. And our 24 days of group stage coverage begins here with a Group E match between veteran shoutcaster Gordiniroy, if someone was there yesterday, and the R8 PC champion Pigiero. So much to look forward to here, and first of all, for me, it's a great reunion with this F7 admin and champion and just great dude Giannini. My co-caster, welcome.
Hello! So excited to be here, and thank you for having me. I'm very excited for the match as well, and for the whole tourney in general.
Yeah, it is that time again, and I can see now that both are live, so I think we are very nicely ready there, and no ads so far. Yeah. Just under 4 minutes until the first match of, oh my goodness, I think close to 300 will begin here. So we are going to get so much roulette here in the next almost 2 months.
Indeed. It's such a long tourney. I love this part of the year. Not normally a huge fan personally of the season, but RRWC makes it a whole lot better. And yeah, as you said, nearly, I think, 7.5 weeks we'll have roulette action. And just a lot of matches. It's gonna be very, very great. And group stages are always very exciting because it's just a different format from the normal KO brackets, which of course we also have. But yeah, group stages are just a different kind of beast.
There are a lot to get used to here, of course. The lovely new overlay as well, which is made by Gunther and that Observer. Thank you so much for that. But also the format. And of course, we can just really quickly round down what roulette is in a moment. But I guess first of all about the format, this is roulette. If everyone is familiar with that, then of course it's just 3 maps of roulette in each group stage match. All 3 will be played. First, Hokkaido, chosen by Gordiniroy. Second, New York by the British Pigiero. Yeah, that is not correct. The Dutch one is on the right hand side. And then we have a random map, which I am not even sure if I'm supposed to tell or not, but there will be one more, which the players did practice for. And here it's not a match win, but every map win is that counts.
Yeah. I mean, normally in our... well, it's difficult, but I think in this case, I think you can definitely tell it, because it's always been like this, a third random map. So, I think it's going to be fine.
Yep, and so it's not a first to 3, not a first to 4, but play all 3 maps, and every map will count towards the group stage standings, which will be here and ready, and this is going to be the main reason which we are sweating these matches for the first 3.5 weeks, because there are 8 groups of 8, and from all groups of 8, the top 4 will advance to the 32-player knockout stage, where, of course, everyone can enter, and only one champion can remain.
Yeah, it's just a very exciting format, and just like the half of the player field already has to go. I mean, I say already, like half the tourney is already over when we reach that point. But getting to the KO stage is obviously the main goal for a lot of the players. But of course, we have to say goodbye to half of them. But yeah, it's gonna be, there's gonna be some tight battles for the spots.
Yeah, I think the fact with the bracket style tournaments is that so many players are out after 1 or 2 matches. Well, 2 is the minimum because double elimination brackets are the thing. But here, not just the fight for the first place will be interesting to see, but who can just sneak past with that 4th place, and everyone will have 7 matches to do so. So a lot of roulette to play from everyone who signed up here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've pretty much set it up. It's just gonna be a very exciting time, and I hope everyone watching and playing is just as excited as we are. And yeah, our opener is gonna start already in 20 seconds. And yeah, it's been a while since we've seen some roulette action, so it's gonna be just amazing.
Yeah, basically non-stop roulette from today, the 14th of October, until the 4th of December 2022, which will begin here in Hokkaido. Yanni, please run us down our first spin of Roulette Rivals World Championship.
I will gladly do so. And the spin is for Eric Soda's Electrocution in the suit, and for Yuki Yamazaki, the kitchen knife as resort staff.
So it is sort of vanilla, but of course the Soldier's electrocution is somewhat of a longer kill. PG already in with the suit start, going to get this gondola isolation, but it's not a quick spin here, not a quick Yuki kill, but a Soldier's kill as suit.
Yes, indeed, but of course it doesn't hurt to already have Yuki down to you. Of course, we've seen Hokkaido also quite evolve over the years, but and tourneys. But interesting here, Gordini is now gonna choose another start with the Morgue. So of course that also makes a lot of sense, since you can immediately go up to Sodas and get that kill. But then the question is, how do you get Yuki? Which is something, of course, Pidgey already took care of. So if Gordy can take a quick Yuki, that might be a very nice strat indeed.
I think it will be really the battle of approaches, as Gordy is stuck a bit to get the screwdriver, which he did pick out. The quick soldiers will, I think, help a lot for Gordy, but it is indeed a 5-minute capped run. He will have no other opportunity to get to Yuki before that. Meanwhile, Pidgey has the first and the only moving target down, and can now get the resort stuff first and then just go back for suit and then Soda. I think neither approach is really too quick, but it will be interesting to approach to compare the approaches.
Yeah, for sure. It's always very nice to see. Now we see Pidgey got himself that result stuff and he's headed back. So yeah, I mean it makes sense. He doesn't want to run the whole way back. He does have to like distract the Oh, this is interesting, because he has to, go around the director in some way. But well, track is it's very risky. He has to get some kind of distraction going.
Yes, I was under the impression, and I think that will be the case, that the director will move by his own. You don't have to distract him, but he is a problem for a longer period of time. I think he's going away now. No, he's still there. So there will be the distraction going now.
Indeed. But as you see, Pidgey already still had to pick up the kitchen knife anyway. And now, that is bad timing. I think he just wanted to turn around anyway. Then he saw the pipe flying in the air. And then he of course looked at at 47 himself, because he's saw the item. And that's gonna hurt a lot.
How close was that? I was just thinking about how long could it take, like a minute and a half, maybe a bit longer until the director turns around. I think it was 150 something when Pidgey had that very unlucky timing with the director and putting a 2-minute lead towards Gordy now.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the problem, right? I mean, Gordy went more with the safe route of doing that. Now he has to wait for Yuki to get out of her room again. So it is quite a long run for Hokkaido, but well, it's still, as you saw, Pidgey's strat I think would have been faster time-wise, but if you rip, then nothing you can do there. So it's gonna be very hard for him.
Yeah, the fact that Gordy is trying here for something, but I was just thinking it surely would be Sona-like strategy for a 5-minute exit. Now Gordy is a bit chapped by the bodyguards, so I'm curious to see how he'll get out of it. He still needs the resort stuff and still needs the kitchen knife.
Oh my, and now Pidgey is taking it on full risk and just ran through there and the suit nearly got spotted, but it ended up just being a peekaboo. That's gonna be interesting. He also KO'd the resort staff. I'm not sure if that's gonna be. Probably just left him there and didn't KO the woman. So I don't know. I'm confident he knows what he's doing. So
the mere resort staff should be unfound until the yoga instructor comes back, which is a good question when it happens. I think a 4 or 5 minute mark would be it. Pidgey is hoping to exit before that, but it won't be self-explanatory.
Yeah, that's true, but his strat should be faster than that. But it's a good point for sure. Now, gordiniroy is trying to get this resort stuff, but he just threw it a bit too early, and now it might be too late. Oh, just got to react in time, but now Yuki's already here. So this is gonna be very interesting. He still has a calmer. that might be required here. He's just gonna corner the guard and oh, but the resort guard heard that. Okay, now he's gonna have to save that somehow. Might be fine. Oh, but it's a side KO. If he stayed behind, that might have worked, but it didn't. Going red, having to restart. Oh, rather failed.
We were this close to the first 2 points of the championship being given out. Gordy was just, I think, 1k away from containing the situation because the other guard was already taken care of. But sadly, it is red guns from the orange body. And Gordy with a restart. I think it's even a quick replan. I think he's changing to the suit now as well. Wow.
Well, oh man, that was something. But yeah, Pidgey back in the lead. That's how Roulette. I missed this. You know, that's how Roulette goes. It's so back and forth. And now Pidgey is missing a keycard.
This will be a huge problem, though.
Oh my god, what is happening, man? I missed this so much.
Wow, I don't even know if Pidgey is able to salvage this one. The surgeons are the only disguise that is allowed in there. And you need to keep that door open, which would require body to be dragged through that door or a nondescript or master key card, but neither of them are minutes away from Pidgey.
Yeah, oh man. I mean, I really don't know who's gonna take this. You know, for Pidgey it's really hard, of course, because he's trying to salvage this, obviously, but it might have been even faster to just restart at some point, so now Gordy might run away with the lead either if he can't find a solution very fast. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting how that plays out.
And of course, after restart, everyone is a bit different if want to either do the same strategy or change it up. Pidgey will replan though, so I just abandon this thought, giving the lead back to Gordy.
Yeah. Oh man. Hurts, but
yeah, I was going to say
might be the right call. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that Gordy is not necessarily looking at the same target order, although he will kill Eric first still. Could be interesting to see, but he has Yuki isolated, so I think for Gordy it is now even closer to the finish, not timing wise, but the remaining obstacles here. He should need one more key card, which I think he should have.
I think so too, but no, apparently not.
Okay, that was the first. He had only used one, so yeah. I think that was the fact why he came the long way around to the restaurant area, because that was no keycards needed for Gordy, and yeah, Pidgey with another restart. It's now more than 2-minute lead again for Gordy, who now gets the instant kill on Eric Sodders. He's the exception, no matter when the kill is resulting on the top left corner, the kill is instant in our eyes, and that's the suit kill down again.
Yes, very nice. Now Gordy looking very strong, despite that ton of fail to still take it. I'm not sure what he smuggled, but he's forgotten to smuggle. He forgot to pick that up. But it shouldn't be a huge issue, because, like, I mean, don't really need any item to bring in for Yuki, so I don't know what is there, but should be fine.
No, I don't think so either, and yeah, with these vanilla kills, it's not a problem, and for Gordy it is just this resort stuff remaining. I wonder which one he will go for first. I think it's kitchen knife again, the first stop, and then could even be the free disguise in the showers.
That would make a lot of sense. It's very close by. Definitely, you know, it would save him the trouble of what ripped him last time, so... But we'll see, though. Looks like he's going for that, though. Makes a lot of sense.
He's in the shower, we don't hear RV stars, and maybe if I turn up the volume a bit. And yeah, Gordy once again, so close to the finish with all the requirements for Yuki now.
Yeah, it's just sprinting over towards the sauna now.
Well, the gondola, because Yuki was isolated.
The gondola, obviously. Yeah, sorry. I mixed up the runs. But yeah, of course. Looking very good for him. Has the kitchen knife, has his right skies. So, yeah, not anything that can go wrong here anymore, really.
Yeah, I almost wanted to say that I wasn't exactly sure about if Gordy should replan his approach, because it really just came down to one wrong head turn there, as I paused for a moment because these throws can be loud, so I guess suppose we wait it out before we crown him the winner. But yeah, the replan worked for him perfectly, and it just a restart too many for Pigiero, who would no doubt looking for a finish in a couple of minutes. But wow, back and forth first map.
Yep, very much so. I honestly just forgot at at the end that of course he mixed up strategies, and it was very nice. Worked out. One rip, record very nice. It's not the fastest run, I guess you could say, but that's not what Roulette is about. So it's very nicely done, and Pidgey had too much troubles there. Gordy looked very solid on that first map, and taking the first map of the whole of RRWC.
It is indeed the gordiniroy. I briefly mentioned it during the draw, and I remember you laughing at it. I think it was the best moment of a very entertaining group stage draw yesterday. I also refreshed the overlay to give Pigiero back his original nationality. Thank you, Mr. Mike, for that.
Very nice. Mr. Mike always has a quick fixes. I love to see that. That's it's interesting. I mean, Gordy taking the first map against Pidgey, who is the first seed in this group, and by that pretty much also the favorite. I think that's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking very nice. Every point counts, of course. As a reminder, we are not counting match wins, so it doesn't matter if you win 6-0 and then lose 0-6 the next map or match, or tie two matches with 3-3 and 3-3. Doesn't matter. We just count the points, the map points. So every time you win a map, you get 2 points. If you tie a map, you get 1 point. And at the end, who has the most points? Well, the 4 players with the most points get to go to the KO stages.
It is really a unique feeling in the last week to start to calculate the permutations, who needs how many points, the outside sweeps, or just simply beating your opponent to advance to the final 32. It will be a really nice feeling to look at these possibilities, but for now it is the very early D-Rust and early points to get here. Gordy with the first map, which is already better than last year opener. He was also part of that one against Papa Levi, and that ended up as a 6-0 sweep, but I wanted to say it for his advance, but despite being swept, gordiniroy still advanced from the group, so I think that's encouragement for everyone playing in their first match, that nothing will be decided on this first day.
That for sure. Of course, the first match counts as much as the last match, but it just it has a different feel for sure, and every map counts. So, but there's so many maps that even if you lose a map or something, or just screw up, have a bad day, whatever, it shouldn't be a problem if you can always still advance.
Yeah, and especially this match and these maps can really go one way or the other, or both ways rather. If people have been watching the RR stats overlay below, or I'm not sure if that's the official name for that, it is counted by RR stats, but it is of course just the map stats from the past. Hokkaido had a Gordy win from 2020 against Pigiero, but New York is the other way around, and I think Pidgey is hoping to win this second map by replicating what he did basically 2 years ago, which is when Pigiero began his career, and I think Gordy is one of the first tournaments. We've just come such a long way since then.
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot has happened since then, and as you can see, Pigiero, by now very much known for his New York, has played 18 times this map, which is really quite a lot. And of course, by now, Pigiero also, as you can see, RA champion, won an RR, so definitely a different standing than back then. And it's always nice to see players, rematch and bring out the stats from when they played at last or when they met last. I love that part, really.
Yeah, as we get deeper and deeper in the history of Roulette, we'll see more of these rivalries and rematches and re-rematches. Second map will be read out by me, a map which is very dear to me, as people have noticed in the chat. We have Athena Savalas injected poison as IT worker for the 2nd spin today.
Well, Yeah, IT worker, of course. In mouse found in the basement means yeah, quite a different way from what normally is being done in New York. Pidgey, of course, with a very quick entrance into the map. Of course, very important on New York. Pretty much immediately starts the map. Now gonna grab the first disc of Matteo, and is now locking this door to get the IT worker. Of course, also important to note that there is another trank here, so yeah, you can use the trank here, and still definitely have enough trank shots left. Now this is a bit of an awkward angle, but I turn around now, so it's not a problem. Yeah, got the IT worker, very nice lead for Pidgey, and he's already at 45 seconds in-game time when Gordy loaded first inserts. Quite a big advantage.
Yeah, there are maps where you can afford an extra loading. Well, I'm not pining this on Gordy. I think it's both sides. Pidgey with a really quick load there. Gordy with a restart already. It is going to be now 1 minute and a bit more for Pidgey. From that point, any sort of first try will net the win for Pigiero, but we've only seen one disc taken, and of course it's mostly about the live kill on Athena.
Yes, indeed. Now Pidgey arrived at the camera box, of course. Nice to do that. Has to be very careful. Yeah, exactly what I wanted to note. I saw out of the corner of my eye that the security guard was about to turn around, and yeah, if you then start to run, then it's gonna be very close. And just in time here, he was caught, so that gives the lead back to Gordy.
Yeah, after all this, it's basically what I mentioned, the first try would win it, but it's not the first try for Pidgey anymore, it's not the first try for Gordy, but he had the earlier replan, and he's going all the way back to where he started from to hopefully get a late angle on Matteo, but at 50 seconds in game time, he won't really find one.
No. Oh no,
he got the check
already lying there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. No, I thought so too, but I guess just wanted to take this pass. I don't think, I mean, it doesn't matter, because here you get frisked. It's totally understandable that you can forget that though, because normally you can just run through there with, with security guard, but here it's a bit harder. But he also can't run through, and, oh well, apparently that worked. Okay.
Well, yeah, very quick explanation for that. Of course, the very infamous patch from a week ago, changed this guard's behavior, and he is now enforcing the disguises that he needs to enforce, at least frisk-wise. But to my knowledge, it's not a long list of disguises. It's the janitor, it's the suit, the bank robber is enforcing, so shouldn't even be a frisk there. But yeah. I think most of the other disguises are fine.
Yeah, that makes a lot. I mean, that makes sense. It also doesn't make sense, but I don't want to question the logic. I just accept that, and good to know.
Second, but yeah, it's a bit of a, right?
Yeah, very nice. It's a bit of a longer way around here for him.
But he's going through the chest pass.
Exactly, yes. He's going straight through there, and that's gonna cost him.
Yeah, not dodging the camera, just going straight through there. Of course, there are so many spins where you take care of the cameras by this point, but it wasn't this one. And you can, I think you can even dodge it sometimes by running straight through it, but I think most of the time you're just better off taking the long way around and hugging the wall.
Yeah, it really depends on the angle and stuff, so... Well, it's unfortunate for him. Now, it would have been very close, to be honest, because Pidgey had a better pass, but was a bit behind, so... but now, definitely, Pidgey back in the lead again. KO'd all the guards. Now, has to, of course, find the inject, which is not always easy, but Athena just, only saw one body, so it should be quite easy. Yep, to step her from behind, picked up the the second disc, sorry, and is now, getting that exit keycard.
Yeah, the fact that there was no lockdown made all the difference for Pidgey, and kill is long done. Second disc acquired. He has the exit keycard, the CEO one. When Gordy will run through this guard, unfortunately that will be an enforcement there, so an even bigger lead for Pidgey, but yeah, just Fabian remaining. What was a long ranger, but it hit. I think Pidgey was fine with that because he still had one more dart to use.
Yes. I mean, very nice try. I mean, that was a great shot. Really nice. Wouldn't have mattered probably anyway, but still very sick. And exiting New York, and that should be 2-2.
Going tight for the third map, and as Yeah, I just found a request, but not directly match related. Yeah, any score line is still possible before the last map, which is just what we long to see. Not a formality of a 6-0 either way around. But the first winner will be decided here, and of course the first leader of Group E, which I think is a nice tone to start one's campaign with.
Yes. Definitely nice not to see a sweep. I mean, normally it's also because you get more maps and stuff, but here we get 3 maps either way. But still, it's nice to see it. See a match that's really, quite close. It always makes for a better viewing experience. So yeah, really excited for the Sapienza. It's an interesting random map for sure. Pretty sure Gordini is quite well versed on Sapienza, and Pidgey should also. I mean, Pidgey, I think it's not really known for Sapienza, but should be very, very solid on it. Oh, there we get the performances. Very nice, as you can see. Both players played it quite a lot.
Yeah, 15 for Gordy and 13 for Pigiero. Don't do Mets live, but they seem fine here. And I think the most important part here, besides, I think lots of experience, lots of wins, couple losses, of course. But that one tie is what I wanted to mention here. We don't have the spin here, sadly. It was so all their head-to-heads were from the 2020 World Championship, and it just must have had a very tough 30-minute Sapienza in Pidgey's first ever match, second ever spin, just resulting in this this funny situation. You don't always see draws on Sapienza, but draw from 2 years ago is nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, definitely not. It's definitely what I mean. 2 years ago, it's been a long time. Both players have come on a long way since then. So, but even then, yeah, match has been a very hard spin. I sadly don't remember that. Been a lot of matches, but maybe we'll see what we have now. I don't expect another tie.
Yeah, I don't think a tie will happen. It's the same 30-minute timer, but there are a lot of times to finish this spin in the 30-minute mark, especially if your name is Papirfeste, who is the record holder for Sapienza, 4.5 minutes real time from single spin till finishing is when whole Sapienza spin can be completed. PG is the tied record holder for Hokkaido, sorry. We didn't mention that as we were just building up to the first ever spin, but yeah, just a lot of knowledge here on both sides and lots of experience as well.
For sure. I mean, it's quite fun to see that 3 spins on Hokkaido have been completed with the exact same time by Pigiero, Blythe, and Blythe. But yes, I'm sure at some point that will fall.
It just has to be. To be fair, it was last year's group stage where the lower pressure, I think, and the the sheer amount of spins just broke so many records, and I expect the same for this group stage.
Yeah. Oh man, it's all so interesting, really. But yeah, we see already. Oh, Pidgey getting a lockdown in practice.
Yeah, a lot of things to go wrong. Basically, everything that can go wrong will go wrong here in this practice spin, but it doesn't really matter. Anything before the spin goes live.
Just under a minute now. Yeah, I mean, they're both playing. If you haven't mentioned that yet, I think they are both from the same group, but they're from this is the Group E match, and Group E is definitely actually by vote the group of death. So it is factually determined by popular vote.
Yeah, exactly. I love democracy.
Yes, we all do, right? So it's definitely even, of course, it's even a tougher group than most are, definitely. So, every point counts even more because you really have to fight for your space.
Yeah, if you look at those 8 players there, I think 2 rookies and 6 returning, but yeah, the group standings will be nice to see. But before that, what's the third spin, Yanni?
we have for Silvio Caruso next snap as Butler and Francesco De Santos with Electrocution as the chef.
He's a mansion
I mean,
yep.
Indeed, both disguises from the mansion, a very important part in Sapienza. From where if the disguises are from the mansion or from the literal opposite side of the map. But here, yeah, definitely very convenient. Also, next snap is nothing, you don't need anything for that. So it's also quite a, unrestricted spin. So interesting what they will do. Pidgey already in here with the expected kitchen start, already shooting the panel.
It looks to me that Pidgey is not looking for any quick Francesca isolation, but we might see Francesca done as the second kill at the 2.5 minute mark. And supporting the theory, the panel has already been shot, so Silvio will be summoned at the observatory at a very early timing, and the chef is already near him, or near the observatory.
Yes, which is of course very convenient. Now, Pidgey's and Gordy both in this, little room adjacent to the main hall, where they will lure the butler. And I think Pidgey threw that a bit too early, yes, before the doors were opened. But this throw should get him.
Never know with the question mark or by just looking at the minimap, but yeah, the butler did catch on this one, and there's the disguise, and we will have the kill at 1.5 minutes. Looking good for the Francesca timing, but for Gordy it will have to be restarted. And looking at the stream, the replay, it was a mentioned staff, or rather the mentioned staff, who can go through this room, and I was worried about him if Pidgey would be ripping to him, but that's not the case.
Yeah, indeed not. And as you see, he shot the observatory very early, so Silvio already working upstairs. It's not a huge issue though. He has to be very careful with these the head of these two guards here. But looks like he waited for the right timing, knocked all three out with a spaghetti can, and that's the next snap. First kill done for Pidgey.
Yep, and the chef being so close, I think, yeah, we're looking at this long range KO there. Rather strength shot. He still has. Oh, Pidgey is not exactly sure if he could make it. 30 seconds until then, but decided not to get a disguise, just the Frenny isolation rather.
Yeah, it would be very tricky if it wouldn't be like a normal kill that you have to actually do while being up here. But since electrocution is a skill that can be done remotely, yeah, that's definitely a bit of an easier decision.
I think the only factor here is what will that second guard do, who is now the enforcer dot, who has now the enforcer dot above him. Quite a bit of a random situation, but at the 2.5 minute mark, unless we see an early KO, but we won't, Pidgey gets the eyes on Francesca, and he just has to run their thing down, because I might see the sync can be a trigger for distraction.
Yes, absolutely. It should be fine, because the guard who will come in will see the tranked body, but it's gonna be close. I think the better call is to KO him here, but of course, gotta be very careful with that, because he will. Oh, yeah, but you will not wake him up that fast. I mean, even with quick revive, that's not gonna happen. So that's very nice, convenient. Now he should be very, very much safe.
Yep, and with the chef already isolated, that's no problem there, just a detonation away from the second kill. Gordy is looking at the 2.5 minute timing, but not as the chef, although I'm not sure what the chef disguise is at this point. Ooh, Gordy, that was almost troublesome. Decides not to go for the next snap, but he's tight on time and wants to do the Francesca isolation as well.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, it would have been like 2 more seconds, but I mean, that does make sense. I don't blame him for that. Because he really has to run up here. In the meantime, Pidgey did grab the chef that he already tranked, detonated Francesca, and now he's just looking to get that virus. Looking like a very solid first try from Pigiero, very fast one too.
Yeah, one last bullet distraction for the biolab security, who is rarely a problem, but still so much better to distract him. A shot or the throw for the EMP gets the drop. It's now just one detonation and the exit away from taking the first match with a score of 4-2, so that's 4 points for Pigiero, 2 for Gordiniroy, and first ever win of RRWC 2022.
GG's, very nicely done. Yeah, both players definitely, Pidgey getting 4 points here, Gordy 2. I think both players very much deserved the points they got. Sappy was just really nicely done for Pidgey. On the other two maps we saw both players, struggle a bit more or less, so I think that's very fair that they both got one of those. And yeah, definitely very, very nice opener match.
Yeah, for sure. We liked fair results, and this was definitely a fair result down to each map. Both taking their own map pick very confidently, not without their rips or slower replans, but worked out very fine in the end. And I think Pigiero just being the faster here today, because the 421 of Pigiero's second try won't be topped by Gordiniroy, I don't think. So yeah, solid 4-2, but both players leave with points, so that should be a good opening for them.
Definitely. Yeah, very happy to see that match. First match is done, and of course, not much of course happened in the standing yet, because that was indeed the first match.
There's a slight trouble here
sure.
with the ranking.
Yes.
It's probably the other way around, or
we're playing golf now. Didn't you know? Least points win.
Right, so Gordy with a double bogey is currently in 7th place, and Pigiero is 4 over par. That's a pretty off to bad start there, but the other 6 players are still on par.
Yeah. I'm sure that will be fixed very soon, but of course it should be around Pidgey first, Gordy second. But of course, not much to see here yet. But it's going to be exciting the next days when these first matches get done in the same group. These rankings will fill up, and it's going to be very nice to look at those then.
Yeah, and just a very quick point about this group of death. We won't be able to compare it to the other groups, but just here, let me tell you that Kekanet is the runner-up from last year's World Championship. PG himself is an RR champion. David Red Sox and Mr. Mike are RR finalists here. And Gordiniroy, with huge experience there across the years, he's not to be counted out against any of them. As you could see, the 2 points scored here. Shashin is returning after a year and almost made it to the knockout stage of the last year as well. I think that was also sort of a group of death there, but he's definitely gaining experience, and we still don't know anything about the 2 rookies who could upset them, Supermassive or Rustle.
Indeed, but I also always love rookies playing, because you just never know what's gonna happen. They have always the potential to show up huge, because you don't have any point of comparison.
Yeah, and should be no pressure on them. So looking forward to their first performance there. I think we have a very good amount of rookies, but let's see if any of them show up in the upcoming matches tab. Our next match will be in an hour and a half between the buff guy and I Like Hitman. They are far from rookies. Santa Fortuna and Mendoza in 90 minutes. And then 2 more matches for the evening. Rusty, aka FE3, against Mika from Group A. Followed by Nezuko-chan versus It's the Alex from your group, which is Group B.
Indeed. Yeah, of course, and it's 4 more matches. Well, today, or however you count, we pretty much have matches all around the clock, because from players are from all over the world. So whatever your time zone is, I'm sure you can comfortably catch some matches. It's really a lot of matches, but that's what we're here for, and yeah, gonna be good. I'm not sure. Of course, it doesn't say who will cast the next matches yet, but just check hitmaps.com or in the Discord, type !matches to see when that is assigned, to get an overview of the matches. And of course, we will also always ping when a match goes live where you can watch it. So yeah, just check out the Discord and hitmaps.com, and then you will have everything you need.
Yeah, very well said. It will be an almost constant stream of matches around the clock, basically, for the next 3.5 weeks. And then, of course, the all-important knockout stage matches come mid-November. But, of course, so much to go before that. And, yeah, an hour and a half until the next match and the next cast. Hopefully, we don't know who that will be yet, so I think I will just raid until then and hopefully see you guys for the next match. I want to say another thank you to Mr. Mike for editing this match, and to you, Yanni, as well, for co-casting with me.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a very fun to cast the opener, especially with you. Have missed casting with you. You know, I'm sure we can do that sometime again in the next 2 months.
Sounds good to me. Thank you everyone for watching, and until the next match, see you everyone.